Okay, so the objective of the workshops that we're doing are to get songwriters who play guitar, because it's a guitar based workshop, to get songwriters who play guitar to start thinking about music theory not as some crazy scary beast that is going to ruin your creativity, or be too hard to understand. It's to kill that idea. This is the point of what I want to get out of this workshop, is let's kill that idea that theory is somehow a creativity destroyer, or somehow it's going to turn you into a robot. It's nonsense. Learning music theory is like it's like learning the meaning of all the words that you're using. It gives you a little bit more depth of understanding, and it allows you to be a bit more sophisticated in your songwriting. And the idea is that you don't need music theory to write a song. You really, really don't. You don't need music theory at all to do anything. The point is that it helps you to have an overall understanding of how music works, about the nature of the relationships of notes to one another. So I think it's really, really important that at first we just learn the concepts, the shapes, the sounds. Then, when it comes time for you guys to learn the dots and to recognize key signatures, time signatures, we're not going to go into rhythm here. We're going to just be talking more about diatonic music theory as it applies to melody and harmony on the guitar. Okay, so we do have a sort of narrow focus here. But the point being is, you open up your options. You should never get stuck. If you're writing a song and you've got a bit of diatonic music theory behind you, and you've listened to music that breaks those diatonic rules, which you have, whether you know it or not, you've heard music that breaks those rules, then you've got what I would call unlimited songwriting ability. You can get better at being more sophisticated and to imply and substitute different chords, but you will have no limit on where you can go. And that's a cool feeling to have. Not everything's going to work. It's going to be up to your own personal choices. That's why I say it's not necessary to have diatonic theory in your brain to write songs, but wow, it's such a useful tool to have. And I will admit to you, I don't think about music theory when I'm writing a song. I think about music theory when I've written a song, and I think, something could be nicer. Could I add a little flavor in here? Am I sticking too close to the rules? Could I break some of the rules? And it just gives you a further awareness of not only your instrument, but how you can write, how you can make a melody, how you can make chord sequences and stuff like that. So why not dip in, have a little look at how diatonic music theory works. So let's do it, okay? So here it is. This is what I've told you guys from the beginning. There's one thing that you have to understand. There is a master scale. It is the framework, and it is the measurement by which we measure all chords and all other scales. When we say something is flat, we say something is sharp, augmented, diminished. It's diminished, sharp, flat, or augmented in relation to the master scale, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That is the major scale. And in fact, let's give it a tonality to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? Everybody knows how to sing that. If you don't know how the words go backwards, we just go la 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 la. Okay? We all know that song. We all know that melody. It's a melody, it's a mode, and it is the master scale. Okay? So it is the DNA. It's the matrix. And from all that, in Western music theory, we get all of the other chords. We can then name all of the other chords. So how does this weird thing work? Why is it divided up like this? Well, this goes back to ancient Greece. This goes back to how these instruments were invented. It's high mathematics. It's high science. There's a lot of science involved here as far as the construction of the instrument. And there's also geometry. And geometry is how how in the scientific world we understand shapes, frequencies, waves. All of this stuff has to do with, it's above and beyond the call of duty for what we need to understand now. But what a lot of people want to do is they want to say, why does music theory work this way? Why? Well, you might as well ask, why do stars form in the way they do? Or why does concrete, become rigid after a setting period? Or, why does water precipitate? It's like you're asking universal questions here. And what I would say is rid your mind of the whys about music theory and open the door to the hows. It does work. It is a natural part of the universe. It's not arbitrary. Somebody didn't decide these notes sound good together. They discovered that this is the geometry of how harmony is made, and everything comes from that idea. We only have harmony, rhythm, melody, and in classical music there's the idea of counterpoint. So there's really a few sort of mechanisms that we have to make sound into song. Okay, so the idea is we're in songwriting, so we want to make songs. If you want to make sounds and all the rest of the kind of stuff, then possibly you don't need to know anything about theory. Okay, I'm actually going to stop here and do a new video, because I think if you want to just dip straight into it, I went off on a tangent there. But that's the introduction to our goals for the workshop. The next bit, we're going to get into it. We're going to get dirty, okay? So here we go.